wide open.
Okay.
Somebody actually confessed, that was next door, somebody actually confessed to breaking into my flat and stealing my keys.
Okay.
Because they didn't want me going out.
How long ago was this?
It's a couple of weeks ago now.
Okay.
I've got new keys since, but
Brilliant.
I want to find out who's actually been breaking into my flat because that has been wide open for months.
Okay.
And I had no idea. There was a dresser that was here. I'll show you where that is now because I've moved it.
I can see where it is.
Yeah, I've moved it. So,
okay.
Oh no, they took it. Damn, they took it actually because I had it removed. So they've been climbing on top of that thing to get up there.
Okay.
Or to go through there when they wanted to get out of the flat. So either one of two possibilities. Sorry, 1 second. Either they had a master key to
for
get
the front door.
For the front door.
Okay.
Or they broke in through this attic here. There's another attic.
Is this all your flat now? This corridor's your flat?
Yeah, all of this.
Yeah, okay, no, that's your front door, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then outside, there's an attic door right outside number 8.
Okay.
And that, I believe that attic door was also used to get in.
Okay. Who's your landlord here?
It's normally Brent Mind. No, actually, it's Network Homes, that's my landlord. Okay. But they operate through Brent Mind.
Okay. Have you spoken to them about it? About getting a
Yeah, of course, yeah. But the thing is, the thing is, I wanted the police to actually get here first to investigate the attic before I did anything.
Okay. Alright. You say this was only a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it wasn't long.
Okay. Is there anything else that's given you cause for concern about the police?
What about the police in particular?
Yeah.
Well, because every time I've reported crimes, they've always said it's a non-issue.
Okay.
You know,
I'm particularly talking about PC Demu and PC Khan. Those names.
They haven't done. The thing is, what I feel like is that PC Demu and PC Khan were basically following orders when they said that the harassment that I was getting from next door was not a crime.
Okay.
I feel like they were actually told to do that. I don't think it's actually them that actually made that decision.
What's the harassment then?
Well, basically she's been shouting through the wall, banging through the wall. She's been firing electronic weapons at me, which she's actually confessed to. But the thing is, I can't prove this. All I have is what I've heard, which is what she's deliberately been telling me. So there's been taunts through the wall, throwing stuff at the wall, which she's been doing right up until like a couple of nights ago when I was here.
Okay.
Right? So she's been doing that, and she's also been but whenever I confront her about her behaviour, she acts like she doesn't know what I'm talking about, and she acts like I'm crazy or whatever. And instead of actually supporting me in my harassment claims, Brent Mind have done the same thing, the police have done the same thing.
So that's just recording our conversation, it will buzz every now and then.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, so every single time I've complained about harassment, I've always been fobbed off and stonewalled.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is just simple harassment. We're not talking about weaponry or anything. We're talking about like throwing stuff at the wall and her being loud, which I have evidence for.
Who's the she? Who is she?
Her name is Samira Eigaal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what flat is she in the same building?
She is in the same building. She lives in flat number 6, just opposite me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long's that been going on?
Since I've moved here. Almost.
Okay. How long is that?
Well, I moved here in April.
Right.
And it's been going on since about May, I'd say.
Okay, Samira Eigaal.
Eigaal.
Okay, flat 6.
Yeah, and she's been...
How old is Samira?
I think she's a bit younger than me. She's in her 30s.
Is she white, Asian?
She is Somalian.
Okay, it's just persistent noise, banging on the wall.
Yeah, it's not noise, it's deliberate, like, taunts and harassment, and she's been recording me having anxiety episodes as well and putting it online.
Okay.
Because the thing is, it's a retaliation, basically.
Where are these things online?
She put a live video of me, I believe, when I was having an episode early in the morning.
Yeah.
and she's also been trying to record me. Because what I do is I usually express myself on my dictaphone.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a diary and I don't have the internet anymore, so I just express myself on my dictaphone. And what she'll normally do is she'll try to record me yelling so she can get evidence of something on me in order to contest what she's been doing and the evidence that I have on her.
Okay. Do you know where she posts this stuff online?
I believe it will be on her own site, but I wouldn't know because I've blocked her.
Right. Okay. What, like Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah. I blocked her. And she knows I blocked her. So.
Yeah. Did she put it up on Facebook or Instagram?
Yeah. Because the thing is, when people are harassing me, I put it online because the police don't really do anything.
The only thing I'm saying, Fabian, is just by saying I put it online is a bit vague. I need to know.
No.
Site you use, like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or.
I put it on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. If there's any evidence of harassment that nobody is paying attention to, then I make it public and I let the public make up their own minds about what's going on.
Would you be able to? Oh, you haven't got internet.
I haven't got internet access at the moment.
Is that going to be a long-term thing?
I don't know. That's something else that Samira took credit for as well. She said she took. The thing is, from my perspective, the reason why I'm offline right now is because of a financial issue, not actually because of her. But she's taking credit for me not being online and saying that, oh, I just wanted her offline. Yeah, so she's actually taking credit for that. I don't know how she would have done it. Do you know what I mean? But I know that perpetrators can hack into your stuff, because in the last house that I was at, Amal Mohammed was hacking into my things, and I actually had evidence for that. Again, I sent it to Benmine. They didn't look at it. They didn't pay attention to anything that I was sending them. They stonewalled me, gaslit me. Basically,
so this is Brent Mind, and who else was it for Lone Wolves?
It was Brent Mind. At the time, because of where I was living, it was Genesis.
Okay.
But because I'm living here, it's Network Homes.
Brent Mind and Network, okay.
It's Network Homes for this flat, but in the other flat, it's Genesis. What Brent...
So Samira's is Genesis, do you think?
No, we're all Network Homes because we're all in this house. But my...
previous place, sorry, gotcha.
Yeah, the previous place. So what Brent Mind are actually responsible for is, because they're a mental health charity, they're the go-between between clients and the landlord, so that they can offer additional support if we need it.
Have you spoken to them about this?
Of course I have.
And you don't feel that they're being...
No, they haven't been. They've lied repeatedly. I've got evidence for that too.
Okay. Have you got a phone number I can reach you on? Because the one I had doesn't connect.
What, the 251 number?
No, I don't think it's 251.
No. I need to get you a different number then. 1 second. Alright, it's zero. It's...
Okay, I'm just saying right now you can't, but you do have it. I can speak to Brent Mind in relation to this, and I can go and speak to Samira. I just want to clarify with PC's Demu and Khan, were they rude to you at all, or anything like that?
PC Khan was a little bit defensive, but Demu, no rudeness.
No rudeness, okay. That's good. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to take a report. It's saying there's ongoing harassment between yourself and number 6. I'm also going to see if I can knock on the door of number 6. Is that just... I'm
not going to sugarcoat things. I have retaliated. I went over to her house, I think it was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think it was last Wednesday, and I accused her outright of everything that I've told you.
Yeah.
And more besides, okay? So... Well, she said that she told me to get away from her door, otherwise you were going to call the police. And I said, you know what, I will sit right here. You can call the police. I've got some stuff to tell them too, so you can go ahead and call them.
Did she?
No.
No, okay. All right, well, look, it does appear to be an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
I will put a report on of the issues between yourselves and number 6.
Right.
With most incidents of this, what will happen is I'll speak to both parties. I'll pretty much give you both the same advice, which is just to urge you not to have any direct contact with each other.
Okay.
At the end of the day, what we look to do is we look to kind of treat everybody like adults. Not everybody in the world is going to get on. I get it.
Right.
All right? That's a fact of life. But at the same time, you don't need to antagonise each other. You don't need to wind each other up.
I agree.
You don't need to deliberately annoy each other. So, from your point of view, I'd just say, look, clearly she doesn't want to talk to you. You've been down to her door, tried to sort of have it out.
Oh no, that's the first and last time. That's all I need.
Fine. No, that's good. That's great.
But the thing is, she's confronted me more than I've confronted her.
That's fine.
And every time she's confronted me, she's lied.
I will go and speak to her now.
Right.
And I'll basically be warning her to say, look, you have had enough of her. You want no contact with her. You don't want her winding you up anymore. Mm-hmm. Leave Fabian alone. Mm-hmm. And you've already said, and I'm quite comfortable with that you've said your piece to her, or at least tried to. You're not going to look to do it again. Right. I don't want you getting in trouble. Yeah. And I'll give her the opportunity to not get in trouble herself. Right. Okay. Does that make sense?
That's fine.
Okay. In the meantime, you say this is about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I need that examined for fingerprints.
Okay. All right. I'll see if there's anyone who can do that. Can't guarantee that.
Okay.
Do you say it was just keys that were taken?
Keys and a letter, but the letter was returned.
How was it returned? Do you think they came back in the same way?
It was taken from the flat and it was returned downstairs.
Okay. All right. Whereabouts in your flat was it?
It was in my room.
Okay. All right. And you haven't contacted the police about that?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Did anyone come
but the letter was returned though.
Did anyone come to your address, or did they speak to you over the phone? Or
I called them and they spoke to me over the phone. They've tried to call me actually, but the thing is, they have tried to call me because I kept getting an unknown number. Yeah. And the thing is, I have my phone on silent, which is why I haven't been able to hear them. So they have been calling me.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you've not actually spoken directly to them, just like voicemails or something? Okay. I'll look into that. When you phone 999 or even 101, we create a log. So I'll try and find that log from a couple of weeks ago from you phoning. Do you know an exact date, Manny?
Exact date of the keys and
when you phoned the police?
The exact date of when I called the police. I can't think, because I think it was a few days after the incident. I'm not sure though. Okay. Because the first thing I did was talk to Emily from Brett Mind about it, and she advised me to call the police, so I called the police. Yeah. When the letter was taken, that was on the 7th. When the keys were taken, when the letter was taken, that was on the 6th.
6th of November?
Yeah, that was on a Wednesday. Okay. When the keys were taken, that was on a Thursday, because I left it in the house.
Do you think it was the next day, or...?
Yeah, it was Thursday.
The next day?
When the keys were taken, yeah, so
the keys would have been taken on the 7th?
On the 7th.
Okay.
Because that was a Thursday, and I think I didn't actually contact them until the week after.
Okay, so maybe plus 1 week.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can look to dig out that log and see if I can get that updated as well. All right?
Cool.
In relation to the two officers, Danu and Khan, what would you look to have done about them? Do you want me to have
It's not about them, it's about the person who made the decision that my harassment was a non-crime, which I don't think was them. I think they were the ones. I think what happened was somebody from above said, we're not going to treat this as a crime. Yeah. And what they had to do was tell me. Yeah. Or Demu had to tell Khan or something like that. I don't think it was them who made the decision. That's why my problem is not with them. I want the person who made the decision that it was a non-crime. I don't want the messengers. Okay. They're just the messengers.
Okay, let's see if I'm going to work paperwork for this then. Because look, I will record it as a crime. Yeah. But it goes on as what we call a first incident harassment. Is A-U-E-E-N-E?
It's double F-A-B-I-A.
Yeah.
Double N-E.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you're happy, so to speak, with the conduct of PCs, Demu and Khan?
Yeah, they're fine. It's just the person.
But you want this recorded as a crime, which I'm saying I can do.
Yeah.
But like I say, we leave it as words of advice to the two parties. And the issue becomes if one of you decides to carry on.
That's happened before, and the thing is, I remember a couple of years ago when I was living at the last address, the police did the same thing. They came round and they said, "You two need to stay away from each other and stop messing with each other." Was that with her? No. She wasn't living with me at the time. It was someone else, right? They said, "You two need to stay away from each other. Leave each other alone." Hours later, after calling the police on me for playing the piano, that woman comes back up again, flanked by 2 friends of hers, trying to set me up.
Okay.
So you can warn her all you like, but there needs to be consequences.
Okay.
For what she's done.
But there can't be consequences until I've done the warning. Alright?
Fair enough.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
So you're happy for the matter to be closed against PC's Damu and Khan, but I go away, I raise a crime report for harassment, make it clear that everyone's been given a warning regarding their behaviour.
Yeah.
Yeah? And I'll also look to see what's been done about that.
Yeah.
Are you happy with that?
That's cool.
Okay, fantastic. In that case, if I could ask for a signature, I brought back 3 different letters, but that's the key. It says, in terms of PC's Khan and Damu, that I'm going to be closed.
Oh, hang on. How do I do this? Shit. So you just heard the police officer. Basically, he was called to investigate a break-in. He was called over here to investigate a break-in, and what ended up happening was that he ended up turning around and talking about the harassment, which was what I reported in the first place, and they refused to deal with, right? So this whole investigation was an exercise in a number of things. First of all, they wanted to detract from the break-in, detract from the gang stalking, detract from the electronic weaponry by focusing on the harassment, which, given what I've been complaining about throughout that entire meeting, is actually the least problematic stuff that's been done to me, and it's the least problematic stuff that I've actually reported to the police, but it's that he chose to focus on. With regards to PC Damu and PC Khan, that was another deflection. Yeah, he was trying to make out like it was it was them that had actually made the decision that it was a crime, but I kept talking to the police. I said I want to know who the hell is responsible for reporting this as a non-crime in the first place. Yeah, that's what I kept saying. If you look at YouTube, that's what I kept saying. I might have my issues with PC Khan, but PC Damu and PC Khan are messengers. They are PC, police constables. They do not make decisions on what's a crime or what isn't a crime. That's not their jurisdiction. That's not their role. So why do you keep talking about them? And then on top of that, with regards to the fingerprints, he said he can't promise anything. Well, at least he told me outright that he can't promise anything, rather than making the usual excuses that targeted individuals go through. Right? So, again, this is just an exercise in palming people off and trying to appease people in order to move the next step forward. And did you notice he also asked me about what social media I was using? The reason why this guy asked that is because he wants to know which sites to go to so that he can shadow ban me should I make another Facebook Live. They've been shadow banning me already by making sure there's errors on my videos. Now they're going to try and increase that. And in the mainstream media, there's a clampdown on social media in general because trafficking victims, as a result of government, central government and their involvement with criminal ties, more and more people are speaking out. So now they're trying to more heavily regulate what we put on social media now so that trafficking victims can't speak out. You have been warned. Another thing that I want to bring up that I neglected to mention in one of my lives on Facebook was that on the night that I talked about, on the night that I showed you the dermatologist recording on Facebook Live, I actually had my wallet stolen from me and it had my freedom pass, I had everything in it, so I had to stay there overnight. When I went back home with shopping in my hand, I walked in the door and immediately downstairs, Jeremy Gill-Prabal was throwing a tantrum, Samira Eigaal was throwing a tantrum because they felt like they were being made fools out of. So obviously that theft was engineered to send me into panic mode and to send me into a situation where I had to think in terms of what to do. But, with a situation like that, you just make sensible solutions. You don't panic about it and you don't cry like a little bitch. So that's what I did, right? But, so there was an engineered theft an engineered pickpocketing, like stuff like this happens to TRs all the time. There's always an engineered crime that happens to them outside the house as well as in the house. The reason why I focus on in the house in particular is because that is the nucleus of your stalking. A lot of people don't realize this. The nucleus of your stalking starts with where you spend most of your time, whether that be at work or in my case at home. That's why I focus on where I spend the most of my time. I ain't got time to look up and down every walking punchline that tries to imitate me. I don't have time for that. I have to focus on my more immediate environment. And as you can see, the police officer was asked to investigate that, but he didn't investigate that. Instead, he deflected and talked about the harassment that I originally tried to report. That's their way of not only trying to appease you, but trying to diminish the crimes that are being committed against you. It's another version of stonewalling and gaslighting. Now I gotta go. There's other videos coming up. They tried to shadow ban my Facebook Live, as I said before, so I've been forced to make this video. Stay tuned for more videos coming up. You guys have a blessed day, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.